Yo guys, what's up? Matt from Upsilon Mining coming at you with another video today. More of just a random talking head video, and I kind of want to be interactive a little bit with the audience here, because I kind of want to talk a little bit about how I feel about the Ethereum merge coming up at some point. I know if most of you have watched the recent dev call or even checked out other channels such as DJ Mines. They are releasing, I guess they are deploying onto their Ropsten testnet, I guess, on June 8th or something of that to that effect. And if that goes successful, it's only a few stages away from the actual production, I guess, release onto the main chain. So what I'd like to talk a bit about is kind of like what strategy I have, or maybe it's not even a strategy, maybe it's more of just sort of my mentality and my perception of what to do. So I'm in a situation where I'm sitting on a lot of hardware right now, mostly on Ethereum, to be quite frank. Let's head on over to my farm here and take a look here. So right as of today, I have 4.513 gigahash on Ethereum, and also around 515 mega hash per second on ERGO, actually, and that was inspired by the hobbyist miner, as well as just wanting to try a different coin other than Ethereum Classic. So originally I was mining Ethereum Classic on basically around 9, so actually no, not around 9 570 RX 570 4 GB cards. So memory small, too small to build the DAG file for Ethereum, but big enough for Ethereum Classic, as well as Ergo and some other coins. So for the longest time, I was kind of mining Ethereum Classic, and recently I did switch on over to Ergo, because I thought it would be an interesting coin to mine. And also, I think it would be pretty interesting to take a look here at the couple different platforms and just chat a little bit about them, and to sort of maybe just see what they are compared to some of the other compared to some of the other projects out there. So it's probably the wrong. Is that, yeah, that's Fear Coin. So I guess we can look at a couple here. But first, I want to talk about what I want to do when the merge happens. So if the merge is delayed again, it's obvious that 99.9% of all the miners are going to just basically stick on mining Ethereum, because it is the highest coin in terms of profitability right now. Now, when I say that, it means the yield of coin you get for your hash power. If you sold it today, you'd have the most money in your pocket, whether in your fiat currency, to pay bills or to cash out or whatever you want to do with that money. So that's basically the king of profit right now, just in terms of that immediate conversion. Now, that's not to say that that's going to hold value long term, and we all hope it will, because there's a lot of us, including myself, that are holding coins such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and hoping that they'll spike in value in the future at some point. I'm pretty sure that's kind of something that we're all sort of hoping for. So if it's extended and if it's delayed for another year, great. That gives us another year to figure out what to do afterwards, or even just another year just to mine the coin to make more money back. But for myself, I'm sitting on a mountain of hardware right now. I'm at 102 GPUs across 115, I think around 15 rigs. Yeah, 15 rigs. I have recent investments in server case hardware and whatnot, and I'm hoping at some point, a big some point in the future, quote unquote, some point in the future, I will be able to make all that money back to pay for that hardware, including the cases and everything else I put into this, electricity, to break even and to make more money in the future. Now, the return on what I get back on the yields from all this mining doesn't necessarily mean the value of the coin. Now, I'm also doing I guess a certain portion of what we're all doing is, I guess, gambling in a sense as well. We're investing in something that we hope will pump and become more valued in the future. So it'll go up in value, right? I mean, thinking back 10 years ago in 2010 or whenever Bitcoin first came out, if you were one of the early adopters and you sold your house and you bought like as many Bitcoin as you humanly can as a bet, and it got to the value it is now, you'd be a multi-millionaire over multiple times over, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, which is crazy to think about. Now, it's not to say that can't happen again, although the chances are probably a lot less likely now just because of the prominence of cryptocurrency. Now, a lot of these coins could still 10x or even 100x, maybe not 10,000x, but they still can, you know, multiply in value, multiple times over. So, day one merge occurs, and difficulty bomb is just like so high that you be mining and not making a cent. You're just burning electricity. Everyone's basically going to shut their rigs off. You can't mine on it anymore. What are you going to do that day? So my strategy, like probably everyone else, is to try to find something else to mine, right? And what are you going to do with the hardware, right? I mean, unless you're into machine learning and AI, I mean, the next best thing for miners is to try to find the next coin to mine on, the next project, right? Now, what project are you going to pick? The first thing that everyone's going to do is go to the what to mine here, and what to mine is going to basically list all the network hash power across all the different coins and try to give you the best value for your electricity usage and the hashing power and specific algorithms for your card. Now, in the event that the highest coin, maybe is, I mean, let's say optimistically half of what we're making now, which is still good in my opinion. You're still good. You're making $100 a day, and you're making $50 a day. Still $50 is $50, and if electricity costing you $30, you're still ahead $20, right? Now, if it starts making the same as electricity, I still think you're still in decent good territory, because it's almost like just taking money and investing it. Once it reaches the point, or if it reaches a point where, let's say your electricity bill is $500 and you're mining $400 worth, now you're getting into more risky territory. I mean, it still might be good to continue mining if you believe in whatever you're mining is going to go up in value at some point, because it really can, right? But then you got to ask yourself, is it a better idea to use, to buy that coin through an exchange, or buy a coin through an exchange and exchange it for the coin you want to hold? And I think it does make sense, doesn't it? I mean, why would you want to run all this hardware, generate all this heat? To me, it would almost be a good thing. No, not a good thing, but I mean, think of it this way. Right now, I'm paying for my electricity bill out of pocket. It's about $1,200 Canadian a month, which is a business deduction and whatnot. But either way, I'm paying for it out of pocket. And I told myself when I got into mine, there's no way that I'm going to go into an investment where I'm leaning on that investment from day one to pay for that operation. So I hear a lot of people, they get to the point where they built their farms up and their hydro bill is so damn high that they need the money from the mining revenue to pay for the electricity. Otherwise, they can't run it. I think that's a big mistake. For me, I make enough money that I can actually pay for that electricity through my corporation and have it not be a huge problem. I could probably pay twice that or 3 times that, possibly even, and not be really put out too much, since I'm doing this all through my company as a new business operation. Now, when you can't afford the electricity bill and you're relying on the revenue to pay for that electric, then yes, absolutely, you can't keep it running, because where do you get the money from? You got to eat, right? But that being said, it's stupid to also dump $3,000, say $1,300 a month electricity, make only $200 back in coin, when you could sort of just take that money instead and reinvest it in other ways, just as buying the coin directly. I mean, it's not a horrible thing. I mean, if you think about it, you could still, invest in the coin, and you're still moving forward in that way. So think of the $1,300 as an expense you're putting out anyways, and you're getting something back, right? So instead of putting out $1,300 and getting back, $5,000, you're putting out $1,300 and you're getting $1,300, right? So think about it in terms of So it's more like you're putting on $1,300 and you're getting $1,300. So you're not getting an immediate return. You're still getting something. Maybe you're just simply saving something that you wouldn't have been saving before. I mean, a lot of us have bad habits when it comes to saving. We can't save money, right? So think of it in terms of being able to save money when you weren't able to save money. Now I know it sounds a little bit of a twisted way of thinking, but you sort of think of it that way. You're like, oh, why am I not making $5,000? Instead of thinking, why am I not making $5,000? Think about it. Why am I making $1,300, right? So the money you're putting in, you're saving. So I mean, if that'll help your mentality and your thinking of it, then maybe that's not too bad of a thing, right? And I mean, in terms of turning your rigs off until a certain coin rises up in value at some point in the future, you could turn the rigs off, and you could save on electricity, right? So when you save on electricity, your house is cooler, right? So there's the issue of heat management. You don't have to worry about heat management anymore. All the money on electricity, you're putting investing instead of spending it on electricity. And as long as you stay involved somewhat in the crypto community and follow along with what's going on with crypto mining, it should be easy to quickly jump back on to whatever coin that is, whether it be Raven coin, whether it be ERGO, nice or whatever, right? It could be any one of these projects. And what you got to understand is, yes, as crypto miners, we simply look at these certain projects as just a coin. But under the hood, these are entire pieces of blockchain technology for building applications and different technologies on that other people are using for other things other than mining. I know it's a crazy concept, right? Take Ethereum, for example. Ethereum allows you to build something called smart contracts, right? So Bitcoin was designed as a blockchain technology in order to transmit currency between one another. And that's stored on the public ledger known as blockchain. Miners do the validation of transactions on the blockchain and secure the network. That's what mining is. The same thing happens with other coins as well, like Flux and whatnot. But Flux isn't just a coin, for example. It's actually a decentralized cloud infrastructure, right? They're not marketing themselves as a coin, because if you wouldn't hear it, it would be called Flux coin. No, but it's actually a computational network, right? So Web 3.0 is blockchain. It's built on blockchain, serverless kind of cloud technology where everything's decentralized. So instead of having an application, like let's say, like I build cloud-based applications in Azure, right? Microsoft.NET, .NET Core. I build ASP.NET, MVC applications, front end, back end, web APIs, all that sort of stuff, right? But a lot of that stuff is centralized. So we usually would have maybe an application server to run the web APIs, and we might have other servers to host front end pieces of the code. We might have other pieces of code. We might have other things for storage, right? For blob and file storage. We might have other systems to store databases, like a SQL database. There's all kinds of cool stuff that can be built in a decentralized way. I mean, if you think about it, instead of having your database just kind of like on one machine, you could have data spread across multiple systems in a decentralized way through a blockchain type of thing, right? And the same kind of thing is with the smart contracts are with Ethereum, right? Ethereum allows you to build systems where non-centralized way, where data can be validated across all these different across multi millions of computers, and miners will actually help validate whether things are valid or not, right? So it's secure, right? Essentially, that's what it is, right? No one entity, one person or body or government body or company can monopolize or lock out an entire subset of information, right? That information is public on a ledger, right? So you can't. That's why you can't lock easily. You can't really lock Bitcoin wallets, and governments can't really steal your money out of Bitcoin, Ethereum. They can lock the exchanges, right? But that's about it, right? They're not really able to steal it out of your wallet, right? So unless they put a gun to your head and make you like transfer the money or whatever. But I mean, in terms of like these different types of platforms, they all serve a purpose, which is more than just a coin. Now there's coins exist just as incentives for miners to keep the network secure, to keep this whole thing going and secure, and to actually work as a blockchain. To have a blockchain, you got to have blocks which are obviously connected to the previous block with previous transaction IDs, and it actually links together. And those blocks are found through validations done by miners, right? And that's what allows everything to kind of be secure, right? We have multiple validations occurring on the network, and then once once a certain pool or a certain miner, I guess, discovers or finds the hash which matches, it actually then gives that miner or that pool the reward. So it actually secures the network or the blockchain in this way. They're rewarded with a coin. The coin itself isn't necessarily something that you use as currency to go buy something. I think its main purpose, and I'm correct if I'm wrong, I think its main purpose is incentives for miners, and for, I guess, for people that might want to invest in it as a sort of a, obviously as an investment or a strategy of sorts, right? To have these coins which may go up or go down in value as an asset, right? So it's pretty interesting how it all works together. But at its core, these things aren't coins, right? These things are platforms. Even ERGO is a platform powering the future of finance, right? So ERGO is also a next generation smart contract platform that ensures the economic freedom of ordinary people through secure, accessible, and decentralized financial tools, right? So maybe a smart contract could be just validating, like it's pretty interesting because like basically it's just a way of securing data and validating data that can't be tampered with, essentially, right? So whether that be the data of money or the data of something else, right? I mean, it's pretty interesting stuff. And as a developer myself, I'm gonna start looking into a little more of this stuff from a software development standpoint, because I am curious, and I think being curious about these projects, there's all kinds of questions here. There are all kinds of different segments here on these websites. So let's talk about why ERGO wants to do proof of work. ERGO was created for regular people. Proof of work allows for a truly fair start and the highest degree of decentralization. Yeah, they believe that. So ERGO believes in proof of work. It's right here on their website, meaning you can optimize the degree to which a network is decentralized by having it done via proof of work. A kid in Japan can fire up his computer and doesn't have to sign up anywhere, doesn't have to get permission, can simply start with his 3060 graphics card and start mining on ERGO or Ethereum right now until it goes proof of stake. This is also saying it's widely studied, it has very high degrees and friendly to light clients. These are all essentials for having a useful contractual programmable money that's ready today. So like contracts is just basically an agreement between two parties, right? That's all it is. So let's say I go and I want to buy a car, right? So you're selling the car to me. You're the seller, I'm the buyer, right? Now, if I just take the car, there's no proof that I have that car, right? So I can get arrested, thrown in jail, right? But if we decide to drop a contract saying I'll give you $500 for the car, and then you give me the car in return, we both have a copy of that contract, that validates that transaction. You know what I mean? So that it basically says this was a valid transaction. Both parties signed it. Boom. Okay? Same kind of thing happens when you transfer money. Say I send you, 5 ETH or something, right? To buy a car, right? As soon as someone sends the money from one wallet to another wallet address, what's going to happen is it's going to be added as a transaction onto the blockchain. Okay, that transaction has to be verified by miners, right? And miners will verify the transaction, and usually a block contains thousands or millions. I guess it could be millions. Usually probably thousands or tens of thousands of transactions can occur in a single block, right? And when all these miners validate that these transactions are valid, it's then showing up in your wallet and it comes out of my wallet. So it's basically like I give you this 5 ETH, 10 validator miners, whatever came in and validated that that's a valid transaction, adds it to the ledger, and whoever discovers the block gets the money over there, and then my money goes over, right? But it served the purpose for me to send the money from me to you. Now we have that in writing, I guess, a contract, a digital signature that's always there in the blockchain that can't be tampered with, right? The blockchain can never be tampered with. Right back to the beginning of Ethereum, you can't tamper with any of the blockchains if you try, or any of the blocks, because if you try tampering with any of the hashes in the blocks, it breaks the entire chain. That's the whole point of a blockchain. The data is there to prove that I sent you that 5 ETH forever, and it's public, which is pretty cool, right? And ERGO is just one platform that believes in this, right? So they look out for these. So go to the websites and read up on the coins, find out what, not on their coins, on their projects, find out what they believe in here. Like there's a white paper on it, and there's a lot of interesting stuff. And I bet you a lot of people just aren't reading this stuff, including myself. I'm guilty of myself. I don't read enough of this as I should. So we go here. So these are the parallel assets for Flux. And yeah, there's probably tutorials and what on how to build applications on Flux. Right here are some examples of some apps on Flux right now. So Anchor, Keep 3R, Mirror. Yes, it's pretty interesting. Look here. Security first diagramming for teams. Bring your storage to our online tool or go max privacy with desktop. Diagrams.net. DocuShield. That's what I was thinking too. You guys ever use DocuSign? So DocuSign allows me to send you an email or something, and with that there's a link in there, you can go to it, and then you go to the platform, and then you sign the document, and then DocuSign will verify that it was signed by me, right? And these can be used for like digital purposes and things like that, right? Something like this, if something's publicly on a smart contract system, and it's validated, I mean, it kind of proves that that contract was signed. It's pretty interesting. Like these are things built on the technology. So I think we really start as miners. We really got to start thinking about more above and beyond just money and coins and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great to think about making money and all that, but it's look into the projects and find out what they are about. Because I'm as a developer myself, I'd like to build something pretty cool on one of these platforms. And if there's any developers out there watching this video, please reach out to me. Maybe we can work on something together. Maybe there's some sort of project we can work on together and build it on Flux, right? Let's build a decentralized Web 3.0 application on Flux. And if you got development experience, maybe in blockchain or Web 3.0, I'd like to hear from you. So send me a DM or message if you can. But yeah, there's Fiero as well. So what is this? So what is Fiero's mission? Fiero believes in the importance of financial privacy and cryptocurrency in writing element and maintaining the original goal to be a public utility for money. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of this, right? But I mean, all these platforms are doing something. They're serving a purpose. And if a government body or a large company or a large organization buys into using this, or if this becomes mainstream in any way, these coins will shoot up in value. Like say Fiero shoots up in value because all of a sudden Twitter decides to start using their platforms to build some of their systems. That means Fiero is going to jump up in value, right? People are going to probably buy that coin. Like, we want that around. They're going to jump in. They're going to buy it. The supply of it's going to drop down. The value is going to go up. That's how it works. Basic economics: supply and demand, right? The less there is of something, the more scarce something is, the more value it is, the more valuable it is, right? If there's a bunch of just coins sitting around and no one wants to buy them, then that's when you get in a position where coins are worth nothing. Like Luna, right? Luna crashed because everyone decided to sell it because they panicked at the last second. With whatever happened there, and then there's just no one had the coin, so they had no value because no one gave a crap about it anymore, right? So Ravencoin, let's see, what's Ravencoin here? Let's learn about Ravencoin. Ravencoin is a peer-to-peer blockchain handling the efficient creation and transfer of assets from one party to another. That's interesting. So you can buy Ravencoin coin through the different exchanges. Yeah, peer-to-peer electronic system for the creation and transfer. I'm not sure if it's talking about the transfer of the Raven coin itself, or something else like value, virtual goods. So it looks like they want to go into virtual goods of some sorts. I'm not sure if it's the same as NFTs. physical and digital assets. They're representing a real-world custody physical digital asset. Security tokens. Token which represents a CFlex funded item with the ability to transfer and resell the item. Representing a credit. Yeah, okay, so here's this. Representing a credit. So that could be anything, right? Representing a credit. Let's say there's a system that keeps track of rewards cards, right? Or gift cards, things like that, right? Using a decentralized ledger or a platform like Ravencoin or Flux or any of these systems would be a great way to build it on there, because then you can validate, Joe Blow has 1,000, Club Z points or 1,000 Walmart points or whatever, and then no one can tamper with that because he can't go and say he has 5,000 because it was validated on the ledger that he has this much, and maybe he used 100 points, and that represents basically a transfer of points from him to Walmart or wherever he went to buy it, and they're kind of like a wallet, right? So so let's get back to the point real quick. What am I talking about here? Why am I talking about all this crap? Blah, 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 blah. What does it have to do with mining? Okay, why does it have to do with mining? It has everything to do with mining because these are the coins that you're going to be able to mine. This or some other coin which kind of comes out of the woodwork, right? There's going to be some coin or some project which comes up, and then you're going to have to mine it because Ethereum's going to be gone. It's dead. It's dead to us, basically, as miners, right? So unless you want to buy it and invest in it and use it as that, go ahead. But what I'm saying is I'm going to learn about all these projects, and if profitability becomes so low that it's negligible, we're like 2-3 cents a day or whatever, it doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to pick the one that I believe in. Like maybe as a developer, I'm going to go build something on Flux, and I'll just mine Flux, or I'll buy Flux, whatever, right? But think of all this stuff when Ethereum goes away. What's your strategy? And I'm personally going to hold on to my hardware long term too. Like, I'm not going to sell this stuff. I'm going to hold on to it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, hell, 4 years, until there's still cards that are years old that are being used for mining now. Like, how much the RX, like let's say the RX 580 8 GB. When was the RX 580 release date? Let's learn about this. You must. The RX 580 release date was April 18th, 2017. So 3, 4, 5, over 5 years ago, and people are still selling these. What are they selling them for, right? And we can't really, judge this because the price of Ethereum was inflated. So 229 was the MSRP. Let's go to eBay. Let's quickly take a look at this. RX 580, 8 GB. $268, 440, 171, 260, 220, and the MSRP was 229. We're talking like, just below MSRP. Oh, these are broken even. Above RS, look at this, above MSRP. They're still going. They're still going. So, I'm not selling my cards, man. I'm going to hold on to these cards. I don't give a shit. Like, if there's no profitability, if I got to shut them off and just look at them every day and polish them up, I'll spend every day polishing my GPUs, spraying compressed air into them, keeping them nice and clean, waiting for the day. Waiting for the day till something comes on, and all of a sudden, like that, click my fingers, I'm going to be on it. Just like that, I'll start mining it right away. Because, mark my word, there's going to be something that's going to come from the ashes of Ethereum's betrayal to us miners, I guess you can say. That will come, and we'll have our day to go and mine it again. And if you need to go sell your cards because you need the money or whatever, you shouldn't have bought those cards. That's personally what I'm saying. Like, I didn't buy all these cards thinking that, oh my god, I'm going to be poor. I make enough money that I'm going to pay. I don't have all those cards paid off by the end of the year. Okay, I have all those cards, every single damn card we paid off by the end of the year, and then it's just, if I make money, if I don't make it, it doesn't matter. And then the time comes, if worst comes to worst, fucking 10 years from now, I go and sell all these cards, and I get the money. It's like a bonus. It feels like a bonus at that point. So I don't know. That's kind of like my strategy. Anyways, guys, this is going on a little bit too long, so I will sign off now. Anyways, if you like this video, please comment below. What are you thinking about all this? What projects do you like? Do you know anything about for the projects other than just the coin? You should learn more about the projects themselves, because there's so much more to this than just a coin and being mined. These are decentralized Web 3.0 platforms. Learn about them. I suggest you learn about them. I'm going to learn about them, and I'll share whatever I know here on the channel. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you in the next one. Make sure you like, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you next one. Bye.